r/EntitledParents. What is up, guys? Mr. Reddit here, back with another episode of Entitled Parents Stories. r/EntitledParents is one of my favorite subreddits, and I really enjoyed making this. Now kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome back. Today's story is called Entitled Aunt Destroys Our House, Neglects Our Pets, and Refuses to Pay for Any of It, but ends up anyway without even knowing. Ouch, this is gonna be good. Hey, what's up to my new subscribers? Yossi, Honey Mustard, and Danger Dash. Great to have you guys. The reason I'm making this video today is because of a comment Yossi left me saying, "Don't you dare give up on this. You can totally make it on YouTube." Thank you, Yossi. That's very nice of you. Man, you are great. Sunbed notification. Thank you, Yossi. Thank you. Bless you. Bless you. Let's begin. I really hope none of my cousins have Reddit accounts, but here we go. Couldn't figure out if this would be better placed at Entitled People or here, but since it involves my aunt and her kids, I decided on here. It's my first time post, mobile formatting. I do have lots of other Reddit stories about my aunt if anybody's interested. There really wasn't any dialogue interactions that I can remember, so no need to designate abbreviations. This happened a while back. I can't give an exact time frame, but I was relatively young, maybe 9 or 10. My aunt's life wasn't the picture of stability back then, and her house had burned down recently. Another good story I have about her. So being the good sister my mother was, she offered to let my aunt and 2 of her 4 kids, the 2 not living at their dad's, stay at our house over the summer while we traveled to the other side of the state to visit my father, which we don't get to do often. All my aunt had to do was keep the place clean, take out the trash, change cat litter, feed our pets, dog and 2 cats, and generally don't destroy the place. An additional rule me and my sister set in place were that the boys, 5 and 6 years old at the time, weren't allowed in either of our rooms. So they would have no need to, as they were to sleep on the couch that converts into a bed in the living room, and my aunt was to sleep in the spare bed we had at the bottom of the stairs. She failed all of those requests multiple times. When we arrived back to our house, the place was a wreck. Let's go over all that she did. She and her boyfriend got tired of the smoke detector going off whenever they smoked in the house. Yes, near the animals. So they started leaving the back door wide open so that the smoke could flow out. That clearly didn't work, as the whole house still smelled like smoke, and it only allowed our house to be invaded by flies, gnats, and fleas. They stopped cleaning the cat litter and taking out the trash about halfway through the summer. Instead of feeding the animals at regular intervals, they just filled all of the food bowls with tons of food and let the animals eat as much as they wanted, and just poured out more when it finally ran out. I'm surprised none of our pets were overweight when we got back. The money we left them to buy more pet food, they spent on cheap kibble and used the leftover money to buy smokes. Did I mention her boyfriend was wearing a police-issued ankle monitor the whole time he was there? I don't think I did. Any time over the summer that they were required to put an address for something, which they had to do more than you would expect, they put our address. We're still getting court summons and parking tickets for them to this day. But the one thing that pissed me off the most at this time as a 9-year-old boy is that whenever the kids got bored or she just didn't want to deal with them, she just told them to go find something to play with. So of course, they invaded my room, and she did nothing to stop them. I came home to find my room covered in piles of mismatched Legos from dozens of different sets, something to be able to be sorted and reassembled again. They even decided to use a wooden model airplane I built with my grandfather as a glider, slamming it into the ground and breaking off the landing gear and wings. And worst of all, 2 of my battery-powered Nerf guns were completely missing. We later figured out that they had jammed them and angrily threw them to the bottom of the pool in our backyard that was covered in moss and we hadn't cleaned in years. When we finally came back, we had to cover the costs of bug bombing the house to get rid of the flies, deep cleaning to get rid of the smoke smell, vet-prescribed ointment for the fleas, and replacing all of the toys and other stuff that her kids broke. We asked her for the money, from her directly, and she just blamed her kids and said that her boyfriend was the one in charge of watching them when they did all that stuff. Eventually, we figured out that the apartment she found was a loft above my grandparents' garage, and she was paying my grandma rent to live up there. Rent that the first year of had an additional fee which went directly to my mom without her knowing. She just thought that the rent dropped after the first year, so she ended up paying for everything in the end anyway. Thanks, Grandma. A bit anticlimactic, but that's what happened. My house never was quite the same after that, but I've tried to put the memories behind me and start recollecting some of this stuff that they broke. I've got much nicer Nerf blasters now. Other stories about my crazy aunt include the time our family ended up adopting her boyfriend's kittens because they weren't allowed in their apartment. Rest in peace, Delilah. You were a good little kitty. And the time she screamed in my face for saving her dumb dog's life. My family is weird. Too long didn't read. My aunt, her boyfriend, and her kids destroyed our house over their summer stay and refused to pay for it. But with a little help from my grandma, she ended up paying for everything anyway without even knowing what the money was going towards. Edit. The story about my aunt screaming in my face after saving her dog is up on Crazy People if anyone is interested. Edit 2. I was telling my family about this post, and they reminded me of a few other good ones. There was this time that her boyfriend removed our cat's gravestone, and the time that a building caught on fire while they were watching me and my sister. Let me know if anyone wants to hear those stories or any suggestions as to what sub those stories would go on. Very, very, very interesting story. Jack of Spades. Thanks, Jack of Spades. Great story. I'll be seeing you guys soon, huh? Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. For more of the best stories from Reddit, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and I'll see you very soon with some more of the best stories that Reddit has to offer.